Good morning. I'm Reverend Jessica Clay, the lead minister here. My pronouns are she, her. Welcome to White Bear Unitarian Universalist Church. We are a community of kindred spirits who gather together under our wide theological tent, knowing we are better together than apart. We search for meaning and spiritual depth in the midst of a world that breaks our hearts. We work for justice to build the world we dream about. We work for a world where immigrants are welcome, where trans beloveds can receive gender-affirming care, a world that respects science and vaccines, a world that supports reproductive rights, that knows climate change is real and works to mitigate it, right? Right. We gather to dream together and do this holy work in covenantal relationship. Welcome. We are so glad you're here. We are better with you as a part of this community. And would you extend that spirit of welcome to your neighbor this morning? And if you're watching online, share in the chat where you're Zooming from. We have Zoomers from St. Paul, Maplewood, Egan, Athens. I think that's Greece, I do believe. Escanaba. Cecilia wishes she was in Tortola. We have someone Zooming from Stillwater. Welcome all. So glad you're with us this morning. People from White Bear, welcome. We offer a special welcome this morning to any visitors. Thank you for spending your morning with us. To share a request for today's meditation, please place it in the chat box if you're watching online before the opening hymn, or add it to our meditation bowl, which is in our Soulwork Center. All ages are welcome in our services, and we have spiritual growth programs for children and your youth during each service. If you're interested, please see Amy Peterson, our Director of Religious Education. Additionally, in our Soulwork Center, you will find activities for busy hands. All are invited to join us at coffee hour after the service in the social hall. Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
My name is Fiona Wallace, and my pronouns are she, her. Our call to worship today was written by Reverend Rebecca Edmondson Lang. Come in. Come into this place which we make holy by our presence. Come in with all your vulnerabilities and strengths, fears and anxieties, loves and hopes. For here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this place where we can touch and be touched, heal and be healed, forgive and be forgiven. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, the human is celebrated, the compassionate is expected. Come into this place. Together we make it a holy place.
Good morning. My name is Dana Boyle, and pronouns I use are she and her. This is an invitation to quietly take stock of what you are feeling in this moment. Maybe close your eyes. What did you bring into this space today? What are you feeling? When you've come up with a word, take a deep breath in, and on your exhale, let it go. And now settle yourself, relax, take another deep breath in, and see if you can open your heart a little bit more on the exhale. These days, it feels like we are cladding ourselves in armor way more than usual. And whether it is when we're at work or with family members or just going about our daily existence in the world, it can feel like a necessity to carefully protect ourselves from anger, conflict, worry, and fear. And I've been wondering what people find most effective in letting that go, at least temporarily, in order to build resilience and find balance. So I decided to conduct some low-key research by asking people, sometimes in random encounters, what they find helps them let down their defenses and open their hearts. And I didn't interview anyone from church, so these were people that either I didn't know or didn't know very well. And you'll probably be surprised that the most common responses I received were time spent in nature, music, and church, whatever their church is. Some people said that simply being alone is their balm, while others reported being with friends helps them the most. A few said that volunteering for a cause is what reopens their hearts. And yet others reported that digging into research about what is happening in the world is most helpful. I'm sure there are many other ways that people calm themselves and soften their hearts in this stressful time. Whatever your go-to is, this is a reminder that being part of a community like this supports, by design, many ways of building our resilience and resistance. We have built-in ways to develop friendships, understanding, and belonging across generational divides, and obviously our church cultivates spiritual growth. We remind ourselves to notice, cherish, and protect nature and the environment. Our study groups offer ways to delve into critical issues, as well as meditation gatherings for those looking to go deep into themselves. There is a value in being part of a group that supports volunteerism and advocating for important issues, and we have amazing music, obviously. It's up to you to choose what speaks most to you and what you need at any given time. I light the chalice today for the many ways we build our resilience muscles and for making space to reopen our hearts as a cherished practice. And now please join me in the opening words, which are printed in your order of service and on the screen. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another.
Please rise and bow to your spirit for the singing of our first hymn, which is number 163 in your gray hymnal, For the Earth Forever Turning. We'll be singing the first, third, and fourth verses this morning.
I invite anyone who would like to come down and hear our story this morning. If you would like to, no pressure. This story today, come on, thank you, Fiona. The story today is from Rachel Naomi Remen, who is a physician and author. And this story was shared from her grandfather, an Orthodox rabbi. It is the story of creation, the story of what happened in the beginning. In the beginning, there was only the holy darkness, the Ein Sof, no end, the source of life. Are we all imagining holy darkness? And then in the course of history, at a moment in time, this world of 1,000 things emerged from the heart of the holy darkness as a great ray of light, much stronger than this flashlight. And then there was an accident. The vessels containing the light of the world, the wholeness of the world, they broke. And the wholeness of the world, the light of the world, was scattered into 1,000 fragments of light. They fell into all events and all people, where they remain deeply hidden until this very day. Can you look around? Can you see the fragments of light in the people around you? Now, according to Rachel Naomi Remen's grandfather, the whole human race is a response to all of those shards breaking. We are here because we are born with the capacity to find the hidden light in all events and people, to lift it up and make it visible once again, and to thereby restore the innate wholeness of the world, which is bigger than this light. And this is called, does anyone know what this task is called? Tikkun Olam. Healing the world, the restoration of the world. And this is a collective task. We're all needed. So can you all look around, and do you see any shards that may be little rays of light around? They're not back there, but you can still look around because they're in the people around you. Do you see any rays of light? Can you collect them? Yeah, there's more. You want to get another one? There you go. There you go. And can you bring them to me, please? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. These rays of light, thank you, were written by our Third Thursday group. What was the prompt, Amy? one way that we've helped to heal the world, and they wrote things like bravery, 3.5% of the population is the tipping point to change the world, youth voices, respect and an open heart, get involved, and joy and happiness in standing up for fairness and for causes that we value. And so this is a collective task. We're all needed. Our children and youth are going to continue this task, and you adults are invited into this task. What are the rays of light that you are picking up along the way, and are you looking for them as you go? This sense of possibility is about healing the world, but not by healing the world by making a huge difference. It's about healing the world that touches you on your daily life. So as we sing our children out to their program and back to the choir, our youth back to the choir, you're invited to reflect on your part in healing your world. Please join us in singing Go Lift It Up 1057 in your teal hymnal. I invite you into a time of meditation as we hold in care the joys and sorrows of this congregation. So let's just settle into our seats. Breathe in this space together. If you have something in your hands, I invite you to set it down. If you're one of our households watching online, I invite you to just try and find a moment of stillness if you can. We make space this morning to name the sorrows of this congregation. We hold in care member Susan Taylor, whose sister Barbara passed away. May her memory be a blessing. We pray for a family in this congregation that just got out of a domestic violence situation that lasted 20 years. They have moved out and have their own home, and they're hoping for a fresh start and for rebuilding their lives and making better memories, holding this family in deep, deep care. May you know that this congregation is here to help hold you. Now we make space to name the sorrows on our hearts, to be lifted into care. You may name them now. And we know that our hearts can hold both joy and sorrow, that it's possible, there is space for both. And so we announce with much joy, Tim Perfect is filled with joy to present his wife, Ashley Faye Corvin Perfect. They just got married this weekend. Yes. And I'm just going to say, you present him as well. Yes, there we go. There we go. There's so much happiness and joy for you both. And now we make space to name any joys that are on your hearts that you would like to be lifted into this space this morning. May all of these joys and sorrows be held in this healing web of care. I invite you to join me in a meditation. It is the Work of Creation, an earth meditation by Israel Bafardi. I have adapted it. And afterwards, we will take a minute of silence, followed by singing one verse of There's a River Flowing in My Soul. So I invite you now to join me in the spirit of meditation and imagination. Find a comfortable position in your seat and close your eyes or cast them down or look outside. Take a deep breath. Take another deep breath and try to find the restorative power of air and water in the breath. We must breathe to live, but our bodies also need water to survive. Our bodies are more than half water. The air we breathe contains tiny droplets of water vapor. Can you feel them in your breath, flowing in and out of your body, like waves gently rolling in and out from the shore? Bring to mind the ocean or a lake. Feel its calming presence center you. Take a deep breath with me now. Now notice your feet on the floor, your body in the chair. Feel your connection to this sanctuary and the beautiful wood that surrounds us from the trees that were here before. Feel yourself grounded in the earth, connecting us to the generations who have gathered here before us, to our ancestors, whose presence lingers in this sacred space, whose presence lingers in the sacred spaces of those online and where they are gathered. Breathe in and bring an ancestor to mind. Now imagine these ancestors calling on us to create a new community at the start of a new year. What sort of community will we create? Tomorrow marks the beginning of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, which commemorates the creation of the world. Each new year is seen as an opportunity for a new creation, a time to refresh and recreate ourselves and our communities, a new opportunity to fulfill our hopes and dreams for a better world. Ancient Hebrew tradition says that before the earth was created, the world was a wild ocean full of dangerous sea monsters. Our world may sometimes feel like a wild ocean. We may feel like we are fighting against impossibly strong sea monsters. But the waters are as mighty and powerful as the sea monsters, and that power runs in and through us with each breath, in and out. And as we breathe, may we feel the rhythm of our breath like the powerful waves crashing on the shores, turning and tumbling the largest boulders into the tiniest grains of sand. As we breathe in, may we feel the restorative power of air and water nourishing the cells of our bodies, giving us the power to work for justice, to tend to our spirits and those around us. Breathe in the restorative power of air and water for our community and for our world. Let us breathe together for a minute now as we find our strength to begin the work of creation in this new year. In community news announcements, I have 3 events to mark your calendars for. This Wednesday, we will be having an evensong service following our community meal. The meal is at 5:30 and evensong is at 6:30. And if you don't know what that is, I invite you to come and try something new. It will be a time of poetry and song. Choir, are many of you going to be there? Looking forward to it. And next Sunday, we will only have one service at 9 a.m., followed by our church town hall at 10:30. We are asking everyone, if possible, if you can make it, ideally in person, to talk about the current state of the church in all things. Hopefully we will cover many, maybe not all, but give you an update on where we're at with year-end financials, as well as talk about some feedback we've been receiving and help hold living into this church year together. So please do join us at 10:30 next Sunday for the church town hall. Lastly, October 4th from 9 to 2, I am leading a retreat here in this beautiful space that will have a sound bath and just a time for us to rest in the wonder and beauty that is fall. So please sign up for that. The link is in your e-news, or email me if you need more information. A couple times a month, we collect for our offering plate for a worthy organization where the entire plate goes out the door. Today, our special collection is for the it's a lot of words. Stay with me here. Minnesota Unitarian Universalist Social Justice Alliance, also known as MUSJA. MUSJA is our statewide UU justice organization connecting and supporting 25 Minnesota congregations. Can you believe we have 25 congregations in our beautiful state? And as well as the few UU congregations in North and South Dakota. Many of these congregations are located outside metropolitan areas and may be the only progressive religious voice in their region. Having our support today is vital. MUSJA's focus is helping UU congregations collaborate on issues such as defending democracy, climate and racial justice, immigration, and gender and reproductive justice. They work to develop skillful and supported justice teams. Thank you for supporting the critical social justice work of Moose Jaw. Our offering will now be gratefully collected. Thank you, choir. Our reading this morning is from Rosemary Watola Traumer. Actually, I'm going to switch mics, Carla. It is titled, How to Grow a Heart. Rosemary Watola Traumer. She does a poem a day. She emails you a poem a day. And so a lot of our readings in the future are going to be from her because her poetry is so beautiful. So you can sign up on her website for her poem a day. It does my heart good to read what she sends. Maybe you need it as well. We could say it took me my whole life to grow a heart from lake water and an old junkyard, from an empty classroom and cheap novels bought at the second-hand store, 2-liter bottles of Diet Coke and a dusty dead-end road. There was more, of course, an old plaid couch with a squeaky spring, the spiraling cord of an old telephone, a rusty pan with cornbread made with Mavis's fresh eggs, the breathing weight of my newborn girl. What hasn't gone into the growing of this heart? An old red truck, the pinnately compound leaves of Jacob's ladder. But it is the unpedaling that astonishes now, how all the stories of my becoming, all the particulars that seemed so essential begin to drop. No, not drop exactly. It's just that I nourish these stories less as I turn my attention toward the vastness from which all arose. And in this turning, discover how the more the heart is undone, the more the heart can grow. The more the heart is undone, the more the heart can grow. As we heard in the meditation earlier, tomorrow is the beginning of Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year. This is the beginning of the High Holy Days, or the Days of Awe for Jewish people. Rosh Hashanah is known as the head of the year. It honors the creation of the world and our responsibility towards each other. This begins this period of 10 days, which culminates in Yom Kippur, or the Day of Atonement. A common greeting for each other during this time is Shana Tova, which means a good and sweet year, followed by may your name be inscribed in the book of life. Jewish teachings tell us that God opens the book of life during this 10-day period, closing it on Yom Kippur. The book of life is open and waiting for possibilities, but you don't just get automatically added. You have to do work to be inscribed in it. And for Jewish people right now, wishing each other a good and sweet new year is difficult and complicated. With incidents of anti-Semitism on the rise, with fascism taking over our country, and with the heartbreak of what is happening in Gaza, Jewish people are continuing to live into what it means to grow a heart in the midst of brokenness and destruction. Their ancestors have done it before, and they know that to have a good and sweet new year is part of remembering that we belong to each other and moving from that place. And relationship belonging involves work. So during these high holy days, Jewish people are encouraged to reflect on their actions over the past year, atone for any harms, ask for forgiveness, and continue to recommit to a life of integrity. Rosh Hashanah is a time of reflection and recommitment to one's values, and we as Unitarian Universalists, as WBUUCers, we are invited to reflect and recommit to our values this new year. And what's true is that the world is upside down. We're witnessing the destruction of our democracy. We lie awake at night with fear on our hearts and grief-filled tears falling with each way that authoritarianism is taking over. And even in the midst of this, our hearts are continuing to grow, like Rosemary Watola-Trommer shared in our reading. Our hearts are growing towards truth, towards each other, working to stay curious, working to remind us that there is another truth, and we are not alone, and working to remind us of our commitments to each other and to our planet, to whom we belong. And it is our commitments, it is through working for the things we value that reminds us of our interdependence, that remind us of hope. Hope lies in the ruins, in the destruction. If we listen closely, it's there. Hope lies in the falling leaves that remind us of impermanence, that this too shall pass, that there is a long arc of history. And though it seems to be bending in the wrong direction, we're still working and striving to bend it back towards justice. Václav Havel says, hope is an orientation of spirit, and with this turning of the year before us, I invite you to reflect on what are you turning towards? Where are your hearts oriented this morning? I know that for many in this room, your hearts are oriented towards each other and towards our planet which is hurting and wounded from humanity's actions. Today, September the 21st, is a day when many grassroots coalitions join together to celebrate and raise awareness about the importance of solar energy and its place in helping to mitigate climate change, calling it Sun Space Day. And on this 21st day of September, one could say they were inspired by the elements of earth, wind, and fire. It was open, I had to take it. Today is also the fall equinox, another turning of the year, and with Rosh Hashanah tomorrow, this Sun Day is a time to reflect on what our planet is asking of us and what our place in it is. And what's true is that everything is so overwhelming right now. Our distress tolerance is at an all-time low, like I talked about last week. And what's true is that climate change is permeating our daily lives. Last September was the hottest September on record, which broke the previous record that had been set the year before. I'm going to make an educated guess here that at the end of this month, we will set a new record. Not the kind of records we want to be setting. As we live into this reality, thinking about climate change, thinking about our part in it, it can send us into apathy and nihilism pretty quickly, as hope seems a far-off thing. Our brains will tell us, well, we use reusable grocery bags 95% of the time. We recycle, we rinse the things out sometimes. That's enough. But as we reflect on how climate change affects every aspect of life, and how climate change and racism and classism are intricately connected and interdependent, it is important to name the place of grief in all of this. And from that place, move back into action. It is from that place that Tikkun Olam happens. As we think about what the future could look like, it's hard to imagine, how do we reverse all of this? How do we do the work of Tikkun Olam, especially when I know that some of you have dedicated your entire lives to this work? For the elders within this congregation who have been working for intersectional justice, for climate change, for equity, for reproductive rights for decades, who are seeing daily the work that they committed their lives to unravel, I want you to know I see you. I see your grief, I see your pain, I see your heartbreak and your anger. This deep grief is present in this dystopian reality. These were supposed to be your golden years. I want you to know I see you. I see your grief, your pain, your anger, and your heartbreak. This climate grief, this grief around systems of oppression can make it hard to get out of bed, can make us snap at our beloveds, can permeate the way we move through life. And from that place, it is that place that we are invited to notice where we are orienting our spirits and to go towards each other, that hope continues to be found in each other. Remember, each of us has a shard of light. Because even in our shared grief, love is at the center, the divine is love, and our care and concern for our planet and each other emerge from that love. So if you're arguing with those closest to you, if everything is annoying you, if life seems overwhelmingly hard right now, I want you to know you are not alone. The trauma of living through what's occurring right now is real, and we haven't had time to recover from the trauma of COVID, to process those first few years of the pandemic. And COVID is still present and a part of our lives. Making space to tend to our grief, to cry and mourn the future that we have worked for is so important. It is holy work. Therefore, you do not have to say fine when people ask you how you are. It's okay to say exactly how you are. Beloveds, we have to compartmentalize to make it in the world, right? Can we set a little bit of that down in this community with each other? Can we try to be real with each other and trust each other to hold it, not try to fix it, just to hold it, to bear witness to it? So today I invite you to pick one person here who you feel safe with. And when they ask you how you are, to tell the truth. This is the gift of sacred covenantal relationship and an act of trust. It is not lost on me that when I invited people to separately name their joys, it was not as loud as the sorrows. And orienting our spirits to that grief work with love at the center is connected to hope in working towards climate justice. And God, or the divine, the thread of love that connects us all, is with us, holding us, lamenting with us, and witnessing what is occurring. And sometimes that grief work is physical work, like gardening, tending to our planet. I know that for many people, God or the divine is found in their garden. How many people find the divine in their garden? Yeah, the monarchs right now. Ooh, yeah. And when they dig their hands into the earth and let it sift through their fingers and ponder the miracles that are happening before their eyes, they feel connected to something bigger than themselves. This is what I feel when I see my daughter pick a piece of fruit that her little tiny fingers had pushed the seed of into the earth only a few months before. She likes to say, juicy and delicious, no matter what fruit it is. And the earth, which holds so much, which grounds us and reminds us what we will return to, nourishes us, it gives us life, it is hurting and harmed, and continues to be. Environmental activist Joanna Macy, who passed away in July, is known for her work of inviting in the grief of the planet. It is known as the work that reconnects, with the premise being that if you do not tend to your emotions and tend to the grief that's present in our planet and in ourselves, then you will get burned out and not be able to do the work of climate justice. So grief work, tending to your heart and to others, that is what will sustain you and connect you to environmental justice work, to sustainability in activism. So when I first learned about climate change and how bad it was in the early 2000s, I became so fired up. Maybe some of you did too. I worked to help my home congregation become a green sanctuary. I took all the sustainability classes that my city offered. I worked to evangelize to all of my friends to help get them to care and to take small actions to make a difference. I believed that little actions made a difference. And when I began seminary several years later, Joanna Macy led a workshop that first semester and invited us into the work that reconnects. And I remember at the time feeling like, this is a little too touchy-feely for me. And I wanted practical solutions. Maybe some of you are thinking that while I talk about this grief work. I didn't see the connections between feelings work and climate action. I wasn't ready. And now, many years later, I appreciate her work and reflect on that naive hope I had back then and my own grief at where we are right now. The work that reconnects, gets us out of our head and into our bodies, reminds us that love is at the center and it inspires us to action. The work that reconnects starts with gratitude and moves to honoring our pain for the world. And with a heart forming and being formed, we see with new and ancient eyes, and it is from that place that we go forward into action. We call this planet our home. It holds our beloveds when they die. It grows the food that nourishes our bodies. It supports our children as they run and jump and play and marvel at insects and cobwebs. It shows us magnificent beauty with everything that is created and thrives upon it. We belong to this planet, and in that belonging, we have a responsibility to it. We belong to this faith, to this congregation. We have responsibilities and commitments to each other and to this sacred home. Therefore, in order to continue to work for climate change, in order to prevent burnout, and to see the holy and sacred in our work, I invite you this week to do a heart check-in, to check in on your great grief, to find brave spaces where you can name it with each other, not just your grief about the planet, your grief about everything. And it is from that sacred naming that hope and a formed and forming heart continue to emerge, and then move into action. There are many ways to be involved right now, honoring this new year before us, honoring this turning the pages of the book of life. But first, honor your heart, that shard within you, and then move to action. And we will give you opportunities for action. Our climate action team has a table in the social hall where you can connect with them. Our Earth Ministry team has future events that invite you into noticing, cherishing, and protecting. I'm just going to call out Dana Boyle, who is one of the leaders of that team. Find her in the break if you're interested in learning more. And the UUA has launched a Green Sanctuary 2030 program asking congregations to renew their commitments to the work of climate justice. And we belong to each other. We belong to this planet, falling in love with each other over and over again, falling in love with our planet each day, marveling at the ruby red maple leaves, at the blue jays, the geese migrating, the Methuselah monarchs on their way to Mexico. This planet is a wonder, and you are a wonder. What a gift it is to be alive, even as our hearts break. This 21st of September, this Rosh Hashanah, this fall equinox, this Sunday, this day, may you remember, may you notice, cherish, and protect. May you go towards love and joy and hope as we do the work of Tikkun Olam together. Rosemary Watola Traumer ended her poem from earlier writing, "I turn my attention towards the vastness from which all arose. And in this turning, discover how the more the heart is undone, the more the heart can grow." Will you remember this 21st day of September? Today is an invitation to grief work, to a sweet new year, to Sunday, to hope, to joy, to dancing, to earth, wind, and fire together. To remember the only way we will get through this is together. Amen.
I encourage you to embrace the elements of earth, wind, and fire by standing and dancing if you feel so moved.
Thank you, choir. You can remain risen for our benediction. May you remember this 21st day of September as a day when you chose belonging again and again and again, that you belong to each other, that you belong to this place, to these people, to this faith, that you belong to this planet, and go from that place towards each other. Amen, and blessed be. Please turn and invite your neighbor to coffee hour.